Doctors of Reddit, what's the worst thing you can do to your body? Not a doctor, but I took my dental health seriously after I cracked a molar biting through a burr to all things. Realized after years of not taking care of my gums it caused me a lot of other issues like sore throat due to infections. Having the initial treatments, crown and fillings were expensive at first, but it was a wake-up call I needed. I had 2 dentists give me their take on what toothbrushes to get when I wanted to buy a Waterpick. Told me just to buy a good Oral-B electric toothbrush and floss 2x a day, especially before I go to bed. Poorly manage your diabetes with morbid obesity. You will go blind, end up with renal failure and require dialysis, have limb infections that become permanent with ever-present open skin ulcers, silent heart attacks, early strokes, and every time you get sepsis or need to be operated, the morbid obesity and your slowly failing organs from destroyed microvasculature will both try to kill you. Proof is in the pudding. Regional and demographic plots of life expectancy versus obesity, and morbidity and non-compliant diabetes. Don't ignore it. Colon cancer screening is recommended starting at age 45 now, and if you're at average risk, no family history, no you see Crohn's, you can do Kurgard instead of colonoscopy. Cervical cancer screening for everyone who owns a cervix regardless of sexual history. And please get your HPV vaccine. Get a well check every year and blood work is recommended. You can't treat diabetes, hypertension, high cholesterol if you don't know you have it. Not a doctor but a nurse. My tops are: leave any chronic condition unmanaged. Think diabetes, hypertension and high cholesterol because they can cause serious, potentially fatal complications if left untreated or poorly managed. Next would be the obvious things like smoking, excessive alcohol intake, illicit drugs, etc. And my most controversial thing that is one of the most dangerous things you can do is bed share with your newborn. Can you elaborate on excessive alcohol some more please? I'm 62, exercise daily. Gave up smoking several years ago. I drink either 6 glasses of wine or 4 glasses scotch or 6 beers a day. Positive that is over recommended limits. Are my odds to get ascites, liver and kidney failure on the same level compared to someone that pounds a case a day or a bottle of vodka a day? Not a doctor, but from personal experience, anorexia. I had it for a mere 2 months before I was hospitalized for a heart rate of 45 and a blood sugar of 30. Even putting the health aside, people didn't like how I looked when I was very underweight. Told me I looked like I was from a third world country and talked about how flat my ass was. Recovery is worth it. Dentist here. Stop smoking. Smoking leads to bad oral health and mouth cancers. Bad oral health can lead to blood infections, endocarditis, cardiovascular disease, pneumonia, pregnancy complications, etc. Just stop smoking. And yes, that includes the green stuff. Drink alcohol for a long period of time. Cirrhosis and ultimate liver failure are one of the worst deaths I can imagine. Long and slow, all you get to think about the consequences of your actions while you lose your mind and are bleed to death. Doctors should stop drinking so much and abusing their wives before they lecture me on smoking. And if you think I'm exaggerating, check it out. Knowing all the doctors I know, probably whatever they're doing themselves, drinking, smoking, lack of exercise, poor diet, etc. I'm sitting here with a glass of wine and a spliff. I should consider my life choices more closely after reading this thread. Nothing. Being stagnant with your body will literally kill you. Move around. Go walk. Bend your knees. Stretch. Do all and that. Google symptoms of every small problem you have. Will definitely give you high blood pressure while solving nothing. Untreated hypertension and diabetes. Oh, and cocaine crack. The coronary vasospasms will do a number on your heart. I tried to state other than the obvious like smoking and unhealthy diet, but the question was needed to be direct. Applying cow dung to an open fracture. Not my idea. Saw it happen. Dude died of sepsis in less than 24 hours. Not a doctor, but I could imagine suicide would probably leave some serious permanent effects. Smoking and not taking diabetes seriously. Both can cut your life expectancy by 20-30 years. Not enough sleep. Think of sleep like recharging your phone. Without it, you can't function. Doctors of Reddit, and 375 comments, none of which were made by actual doctors. Not a doctor, but I imagine moving to America would be pretty high up the list. I wanted to ask how much dangerous is masturbation for a longer period of time, but I believe if you do both it cancels it out. I heard it on Reddit. Sitting all day and eating pizza regularly is your one meal that day. Honestly surprised that no one has said the obvious: suicide. Taking drugs and becoming addicted is as bad as it gets. Cortisone, short-term relief but long-term severe risk.